The story begins on a highway where a couple wants to go on a road trip. However, their fuel suddenly runs out, so they can only drive into a desert rest area. What they do not expect is that this very decision indirectly leads them into an abyss. As soon as this couple gets out of the car, the entire rest area exudes an eerie vibe, because Cookie immediately drags a body back upon seeing them. Because Frank and Penelope do not notice this detail, they go directly to the front desk with Cleve to register and get a couple room in this motel. What they do not know is that the owners of this motel are all crazy killers. After a session of intense passion, the two go to the diner to order food and fill their starving stomachs. What they do not expect is that the head chef of this diner is Cookie, and seeing that the two are completely unaware, Cookie secretly drugs their tea. Unexpectedly, at this moment, the crazy woman at the front desk seems to sense danger and frantically presses the bell. Seeing that things look bad, Cookie pulls out a gun directly, but he does not know that Frank also has a handgun, and after a confrontation, the cowardly Cookie has no choice but to surrender his weapon. At the same time, Frank, whose hands are shaking from fear, does not dare to delay for a second. He immediately picks up Cookie's gun, runs back to his car, and flees this dangerous place with Penelope. Facing this scene, the group of maniacs does not chase after them, but preys slowly instead. It turns out Chisos knows that police officers will come to inspect the rest area today, so he arranged for the couple early on to put on a self-harm act on the path the police must take. Seeing the man grabbing his wife, the police officer has no choice but to step out of the car and shout at Cleve to let go of his wife. What the officer does not know is that it is precisely his kind heart that allows this couple to easily take his life. After disposing of the officer, the woman quickly receives a call from Chisos. Since the woman is driving the former police car, and Penelope and Frank happen to want to report to the police, Penelope decisively drives in front of the police car and slowly brakes, forcing the police car to stop. What she does not know is that a crisis is quietly approaching them. Cleve distracts the attention of the two, while the woman decisively launches a surprise attack from behind, knocking Frank unconscious on the spot, while Penelope is knocked out with a stun gun by Cleve. What the couple does not know is that hidden in the back seat of this car is Molly. Seeing that the couple does not notice her, Molly tries to take the opportunity to slip away. What she does not know is that the woman has no intention of chasing her, and instead pulls out a gun and shoots her on the spot. Because she is hit in the toe, Molly instantly loses the strength to escape, and the few of them are soon brought back to the rest area again. To prevent Frank and the other from causing trouble, Cleve throws Frank directly into a deep pit, while Penelope is carried to the basement by Cookie. Because her body figure is extremely perfect, Cookie instantly gets the idea to take a taste. However, after thinking carefully, this is Chisos' woman. Having no choice, Cookie gives up on this dangerous thought. The reason why the woman obeys Chisos' words completely is because she harbors romantic feelings for Chisos in her heart. As long as Chisos gives her a little reward, she forgets that she still has a husband. What she does not expect is that this scene of her contact with Chisos is seen by Cleve with his own eyes. And hearing Chisos tell her to wash Penelope, the woman feels extremely upset, but still does not dare to disobey. However, what she does not know is that Cleve has already developed murderous intent toward her. Because the woman does not dare to disobey Chisos' command and does not want to touch Penelope, whom she detests, she decisively grabs a water hose and sprays Penelope aggressively, which allows her to vent her anger and fulfill Chisos' assignment. After the woman finishes venting her rage, Chisos comes to find Penelope and directly states his thoughts. As long as Penelope agrees to be his woman, Chisos will release Frank. Facing Chisos' demand, Penelope directly states her attitude toward Frank. Seeing this scene, Chisos has no choice but to leave first and let Penelope think it over carefully. What Chisos does not know is that as soon as he leaves, earth-shattering changes occur here. First, Cleve ruthlessly strangles his wife to death, and the reason Cleve does so is because he no longer wants to be Chisos' killer tool. At the same time, in the cage, Penelope accidentally feels a steel nail, which instantly gives her a way to escape. But the trickiest problem right now is making Cookie, who is in front of her, let her out. To achieve this, Penelope uses a seduction tactic relying on her stunning body, combined with sweet words, to quickly entice Cookie into unlocking her shackles and even opening the cage door to let her out. Just as Penelope slowly walks out of the dark cage, Frank's side also welcomes a turning point of fate. Because Cleve is neither willing to betray Chisos, nor eager to go on without atoning for his crimes, he decisively chooses to sacrifice his own life as the price to help Frank escape this place. Witnessing this tragic scene, Frank is stunned for a moment, but soon his strong belief in survival and saving his wife brings him back to his senses. Because of this, he does not hesitate to use Cleve's body and tries his best to climb out of this place filled with remains. Fortunately, at this moment, Penelope has already thought of a self-rescue plan, and while Cookie is immersed in his daydream, Penelope suddenly raises the nail and stabs hard into Cookie's right eye. Hearing the screams coming from the dungeon, Frank charges toward the dungeon without hesitation. Since Cookie is now unable to fight back, Penelope wants to take the opportunity to get the key and unlock the leg shackles. Unexpectedly, at this critical moment, Cookie suddenly reacts and firmly grabs her ankle. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Frank arrives in time and eliminates Cookie, and Penelope successfully gets the key. Unplanned, at this urgent moment, the crazy woman dials Chisos' phone, and hearing the conversation on the other end, Chisos instantly understands everything. However, facing the escape of Frank and Penelope, Chisos does not choose to pursue them, but prays as usual. Seeing the two indeed turning left, Chisos reveals a satisfied smile. Just as Frank and Penelope think they have successfully escaped, Chisos suddenly appears in front of them. Witnessing this scene, Frank wants to drive the car to hit him, but unexpectedly, at this critical moment, the car suddenly stalls, as if cursed by Chisos, and no matter how Frank operates it, the engine will not ignite. Watching Chisos approach step by step, fortunately, at the critical moment, the car finally starts again. Facing this ruthless killer Chisos, Frank has no hesitation and steps on the gas pedal to the floor, charging straight at Chisos. However, facing this speeding vehicle, Chisos puts on a stance as if to turn the tide, but the result has no suspense. Chisos ultimately pays the price for his arrogance. This film looks like a violent flick about a desperate couple battling a sinister desert shop. In reality, it is a deep, realistic allegory hidden by the director. The film satirizes the collapse of order and moral decline in the lower class, while criticizing capital for objectifying and exploiting people. Using business as a cover to commit bloodthirsty acts, while tearing off the mask of religious hypocrisy to mock the hideous nature of human beings who commit violence in the name of faith and follow blindly as a crowd. The Desolate Highway is like the inescapable survival dilemma of ordinary modern people, and the sinister shop is like an invisible cage woven by capital. The film wants to tell the audience that the world is absurd and human hearts are treacherous. But even when trapped in a desperate dead end, one must not lose their original intent and kindness. Facing injustice and the imprisonment of power, ordinary people can also awaken to resist and defend their dignity. And this film also carries great realistic significance, as it alerts society to pay attention to marginalized groups and resist the desert of utilitarianism. It also admonishes the world to hold fast to conscience and not sink into blind conformity with the crowd.